This is what happens when you complain about the RCMP in Saskatchewan. It's a racketeering conspiracy. These guys are racketeers. This is a racket. It's a conspiracy.
Complaint.
But you understand what I mean.
And it gets assigned to him.
Yeah,
and
no.
now he has to follow up.
I
on
definitely will. Sergeant Neil Meyer.
Yeah,
Neil
and
Meyer.
one of the things he has to do is.
I got that letter.
Yeah.
I was waiting for him all this time. I was wondering what was happening.
He's down to Assiniboia today,
Oh,
but
yeah,
he asked me to talk to you about it and tell you that he's coming.
You could phone through the church, and Alan definitely will leave me a message.
And I told him that you and I had a good relationship.
I'm sorry for putting on the dog here with the voice. I should try to drink more water.
I told him that you and I had a good relationship, so he asked me to bring him.
Well, everybody has a good relationship. Like, look at this lady. She's like, "What are they doing to you, Dale?" Yeah, because she likes me.
I mean, I just stopped.
Anyways, this one here, this blonde woman, she follows me around constantly into the church lots of times. She'll run down the street, going to the church after me.
Just to see what you're doing, or
she's nosy, really nosy.
Lots of noisy.
It's kind of
people in small
irritating, though,
towns.
right? But if I did that to someone, what would happen? You know what I mean?
There's lots of noisy people.
They
in small
turn on
towns.
me. They turn on me and phone the cops.
And the stories that
See
get
what I
passed
mean,
around
right?
small towns, they could start.
None of my business.
Starts
You know what? They don't talk to me, but they talk about me.
And by the time it gets to the fifth person, it's all blown up out of proportion and stuff. All right, bud.
See you. Have a good day. Take care of yourself.
Keep thinking.
Yeah, see you, man. That's Dave Horton. See ya.
And the blonde woman was Jen Corporal Kosher's wife. Now, this is Ryan Case, Sergeant Ryan Case, who called me because he was investigating my complaint. Dave Horton was not investigating my complaint. Neither was Neil Meyer.
The only other question I'd like to ask you is, if you mind giving your opinion on this, do you think that uniformed RCMP members should investigate complaints against other RCMP members? Do you think that if I complain about the police, do you think that a uniformed RCMP member should come and investigate a complaint?
Against that person, like you're talking public complaint?
Yeah. Do you think uniformed RCMP officers?
He said no. Yeah. He said no. No, RCMP should not be investigating the complaint. He is an RCMP, but he is a different RCMP in a different town, right? He had no idea that these guys were doing this to me already. And this is the Reverend.
Once in a while that we get lucky.
Are you? I never get lucky. I try to make sure that everything works. I don't rely on fate. I usually try to make everything work properly. But I know telecommunications relies on electronic signals.
Hey, I can get David to the phone here.
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay.
As long as everybody can hear, so everybody's happy with what they're listening to.
Well, the other fellow
whoever
is the sergeant. He's come to talk about the complaint.
Sure. Okay, I'll talk to him then. Whoever wants to speak to me, I'll speak to him on the phone. No question.
Well, he drove all the way up here.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, definitely. I appreciate that. Sergeant
I'll get him on the phone.
Neil Meyer. Thanks, Alan.
So you can hear how he kind of exasperatingly hands the phone over, right? Because he's trying to convince me through him, right? So now I'm going to talk to Dave Horton. We'll play the whole thing again. And you listen to the sigh and the exasperation that the Reverend has, because he's trying to convince me of something he shouldn't even be involved in.
It's only once in a while that we get lucky.
Are you? I never get lucky. I try to make sure that everything works. I don't rely on fate. I usually try to make everything work properly. But I know telecommunications relies on electronic signals.
Hey, I can get David to the phone here.
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay.
As long as everybody can hear, so everybody's happy with what they're listening to.
Well, the other fellow is
whoever
is a sergeant. He's come to talk about the complaint.
Sure. Okay, I'll talk to him then. Whoever wants to speak to me, I'll speak to him on the phone. No question.
Well, he drove all the way up here.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, definitely. I appreciate that. Sergeant.
Okay, well, I'll get him on the phone.
Neil Meyer. Thanks, Alan. Sorry, guys. Thanks.
Hey, Dale. This is Dave Horton.
Good day. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. You?
Yeah, real good.
Yeah, so I brought my sergeant up today because he needs to talk to you about a complaint that you made.
Okay.
A public complaint against one of the constables here in Fillmore.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we'll wait for you here. You just come up and talk to him. He just wants to talk to you. That's it, about this complaint.
Well, just put him on the phone and we'll have a conversation right here. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Would you agree to be recording you if we were meeting in public?
Oh, yeah. I I don't care if you record us.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, besides the point, I think this is a lot, for my purposes, I like it this way.
Yeah. Well,
if he'd like to speak to me on the...
Dale, that's the only way he can deal with this complaint. He has paperwork to show you and everything.
Well, you know that...
I'm here, Alan's here, nothing's going to happen to you.
Absolutely right.
Yeah. Just come on up and talk to him. Probably take 5 or 10 minutes.
Well, you know what? Because I am an honest and genuine person. I'm going to come over there and speak to you guys.
All right, buddy. I'll see you when you get here.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, and so you hear how he says one of the constables. First thing you do is investigate. Who are you investigating? Right? You find out they know exactly where the RCMP officers are. They have a log. Neil Meyer is the boss of them all. And he says one of the constables. You notice how he says that? And how Alan Gairns says, well, they drove all the way out here. See, they're trying to ply on my empathies, my sympathies for these people.
Where was I? You know, like I'm like, I know where I was. I wasn't driving on a highway. I wasn't driving on a public roadway. He did not observe.
I was not on a public roadway. The guy was parked in my yard. He's a corporal. His name's Kosher.
Hello there. Hi. How's it going?
Good, how's you?
Not too bad. Hey, Dale, do you have a permit for your motorbike?
Of course I do.
Okay, I'll need to see it because
you have checked it with the SGI already, and you know it's valid.
No, it shows expired at the end of June. So that's why I need to see.
He knows, he's got experience, he's a corporal.
Hello there.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good, how's you?
Not too bad. Hey, Dale, do you have a permit for your motorbike?
Of course I do.
Okay, I'll need to see it because
you have checked it with the SGI already, and you know it's valid.
No, it shows expired at the end of June. So that's why I need to see if you have a permit.
You can check with SGI.
I just did.
And validate the permit.
Well, if you have a permit, you have to show me.
You got 2 seconds. That's all I'm going to give you. You malicious bastard. I'm not taking his fucking malicious piece of shit. He knows he can phone it in. He's a lying piece of crap. I'm gonna be really nice to you. And that's it, pal.
You pretty much have to be okay there, Dale.
No, I don't have to be nice to you at all.
Okay. Just settle
You're
down,
a
Dale.
clown.
Checking to see if you have a permit.
That's exactly what your name is.
In July. Perfect. 2000 Yamaha.
Hand it over. Can you read?
Yeah, I can.
Then you can correlate the information fast enough. Hand it back. You know you can phone SGI and check that permit. You already did. I'm going to get a complaint in going against you right now today again. You're a clown.
I just ran it.
Harass me some more, clown.
And it just said
get lost. Put it down or get out of here. Get out of here. Get the fuck off my property, clown. Stick your badge up your ass, because that's where it fucking is. It's just shit. That's all you are is shit. And you don't give a, I don't give a shit what you fucking, you can call me any name you want, and I can call you any name I want too. You stay the fuck off my property, you fucking clown. Get lost. That's all you're trying to do is harass me.
So
get lost.
If it was a car, you
So you heard the silence, and then the Reverend speaks up loudly, right? Why? Because they were having a conference. They're like, man, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Because you notice the Reverend walks up, hey, how's it going? Friendly, right? He knows because they know each other. They were curling together. They know each other. They conspired. He conspired to fucking harass me as well. That's the truth, man. It's a place of society. I'm not the Reverend, but I'm out religious. I'm religious way over above that guy. He's doing it for a job. Kosher.
Where was I? You know, like I'm like, I know where I was. I wasn't driving on a highway. I wasn't driving on a public roadway. He did not observe me driving. Not even at all. What's he doing there? What's he doing there? Why is he running a license check on my vehicle when it's parked on my property and it's not being operated? Why is he even doing that? So you tell me. That one. There's another one of these when John Sims drives by 5 times. I recorded him. And then Melissa and John are having a conference, and I'm like, oh man, they draw attention to themselves so badly because they're so inexperienced in what they're doing. And then I drive down the road, I park, and I'm back an hour and a half later, and Sheldon's in my yard asking for a registration. Yeah, right? That's where. So he was there for no reason. That's why these young guys, Sheldon is not young. No, Sheldon has experience. He's not.
He's the supervisor of all of these officers. He said to investigate my complaint. First thing you do is establish who is the officer that's there. So he's lying when he says Sheldon. When he says Sheldon, he's deliberately lying. You can see he's lying. He's deliberately lying. He's deliberately lying. There's no other thing than him. He's lying, period. He's just lying. He's lying. And so, as they do, and as anyone does, I mean, you protect your job. It's a protection racket, you know. I mean, if you're in the, you're in a gangster outfit, you protect the other gangsters. You're in a whatever club you're in, a lawyer. If you're a criminal lawyer, you protect the other lawyers. If you are a person, because of public prosecutions, guys.
There's a systemic problem with accountability for police officers, and Crown Prosecution Service is a major player in that.
Guys,
are left with no answers to their questions and significant concerns over the transparency over any accountability for the police.
When they keep a tight lid over this kind of incident and say the issue has been referred to the Saskatchewan Serious Incident Response Team, and therefore that's the full explanation we're going to give you, You're setting up what I would consider a protectionist ring. The legitimacy of the police service itself becomes questioned. People begin to wonder if they are really there for them and if they might be treated that way.
The Social Contract by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Book 1, Chapter 1. Subject of the first book. Man is born free, and everywhere he is in chains. Many a one believes himself the master of others, and yet he is a greater slave than they. How has this change come about? I do not know. What can render it legitimate? I believe that I can settle this question. If I considered only force and the results that proceed from it, I should say that so long as a people is compelled to obey and does obey, it does well, but that, so soon as it can shake off the yoke, and thus shake it off, it does better, for if men recover their freedom by virtue of the same right by which it was taken away, either they are justified in resuming it, or there was no justification for depriving them of it. But the social order is a sacred right which serves as a foundation for all others. This right, however, does not come from nature. It is therefore based on conventions. The question is to know what these conventions are.
Right? That's where. So he was there for no reason.
That's why these young guys, they.
Chauvin is not young.
No,
Chauvin has experience.
He's not young.
He knows
years,
what he's
but he only has about 5 years. And trust me.
And so 5 years is not enough experience.
It wasn't Sheldon, and he knew it wasn't Sheldon. He knew it was Keith Kosher because he is a sergeant. Kosher's a corporal. Neil Meyer was responsible for thwarting and lying to Public Complaints Commission outright towards me, and as well Alan Gairns, Dave Horton, Keith Kosher, and that's what they did to me. And this is how I felt after what they did, right?
I don't know, but I feel pretty fucking humiliated. You know what? Tell you one thing, I feel better having a witness.
Yeah, I felt better that Alan Gairns was there because he's the vulnerable one, because he's the reverend and he's got allegedly a higher social regard for people's rights than even a police officer. I mean, you think a religious person has a higher social responsibility, right? Really? You know, a police officer is a police officer, right? But you feel that religious people are the most socially responsible. You do, right? But they do it sometimes just for their own accolades, right? Because he is a reverend. He wants to look good in the place. And that's exactly what he did. He tried to look good for these outstanding citizens. He tried to look good for the good guys. And those guys weren't the good guys, though, right? And so he's trapped in this circle. Now, even though he's, kind of a good guy and he's an innocent guy, he's trapped in this too, because he got trapped in the lies, because you can hear the lies. You cannot deny that they were lying, right? And imagine if a cop, if anyone can carry a gun and then say to you, well, you kind of have to do you kind of have to be nice to me, Dale. You kind of have to be. Imagine how that is. And so some people get it. Some people don't get it, right? This guy gets it, right? He gets it, right? This is from the CDC.
There's a systemic problem with accountability for police officers, and the Crown Prosecution Service is a major player in that.
So the Crown Prosecution Service is part of the conspiracy as well. And of course, any Public Complaints Commissions, SIRT, or any incident response team, any police public complaints people are part of the conspiracy, right? And here you go. Here's some more of it.
Are left with no answers to their questions and significant concerns over the transparency over any accountability for the police.
When they keep a tight lid over this kind of incident and say the issue has been referred to the Saskatchewan Serious Incident Response Team, and therefore that's the full explanation we're going to give you, you're setting up what I would consider a protectionist ring. The legitimacy of the police service itself becomes questioned. People begin to wonder if they are really there for them and if they might be treated that way.
People fight. Well, maybe they fight sometimes for good reasons, but very, very frequently they fight for bad reasons. And those bad reasons are personal as well as sociocultural and economic. Whatever pathologies you were carrying around in your destructive little soul, whatever element of Cain was deeply embedded in you, had the opportunity to be manifest fully at every moment of your waking existence, right? You had these people who were completely beholden to you, with no rights whatsoever, to whom you could do whatever your evil little heart determined.
Yes, to whom you could do whatever your evil little heart determines there, Keith. Eh? And you continued to harass me for 15 years. And here we go. This is at the beginning here, guys. This is when you're
right there in my van. That's where I live. Yep.
I don't think you can live in your van.
I sure can. There's thousands, actually hundreds of thousands.
He harassed me, he harassed me, he harassed me. In his own private vehicle, he harassed me.
This truck here, I've seen about 2.
That's Keith Kosher. That's Keith Kosher in his own private vehicle. Right? That's Keith Kosher. He harassed me, 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 guys. He harassed me. He harassed me. That's what he did. And the RCMP even say, you know what?
The only other question I'd like to ask you is, if you mind giving your opinion on this, do you think that uniformed RCMP members should investigate complaints against other RCMP members? Do you think that if I complain about the police, do you think that a uniformed RCMP member should come and investigate a complaint?
Against that person, like you're talking public complaints?
Yeah. Do you think uniformed RCMP officers?
There's a systemic problem with accountability for police officers, and the Crown Prosecution Service is a major player in that.